You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collector. Come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to Jeff when we got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready, you got one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collector. Come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Welcome everyone to season 2, episode number 9 of the PlayStation Collector podcast. And tonight we have RetroGemCollector on the show. Welcome, Azam.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me on the show. Very excited to see how this is going to go.
Very
Hey,
cool, man.
thanks
Yeah.
so much for coming on, man. And
Yeah.
so for everyone listening, tell us who you are, man, and about your collection and what you do.
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Arjang. I'm 37 and I'm from Canada, Victoria, BC. So I've been into collecting on and off since for about 25 years. However, in summer of 2014, that's when I actually started seriously collecting, and I was following up a sale that I have done because I'm in the Navy, and we were in Hawaii, and then over there I saw a retro game collector, the retro game shop, and that's where I got the bite there. And I was yeah, that's what I want to do. And as soon as I came back, I bought myself a couple of consoles that I used to have before, N64, the Dreamcast, and the NES. And then ever since, it's been history. So yeah, and yeah, that's a quick
That's cool.
gist of it. Yeah.
So is that
And
kind of
then-
where you started, rebuilding your childhood stuff? You
Yeah,
were
pretty
probably
much. Yeah,
like that
because
when you were a kid.
I grew up. I'm originally from Iran, so when I was growing up back home, it was still during the war, and it was following some of the sanctions and stuff. So we weren't getting much electronics. So anything game were like secondary and tertiary in people's minds. So I do remember the very first console that I got was an Atari 2600.
Hell yeah.
everybody, kids back then.
The
And
best.
then my uncle gave me out of the blue, so he was also into gaming. He literally loves gaming. He gave me a Vectrex, and that's a
that's
more
cool.
more obscure system or whatever. So that's pretty much what I played with for the first 10 years. That was I was back home in Iran. And then when we moved to Canada in about 97, that's where I started getting all those consoles for all those years that I never had. So I got myself a Super Nintendo. I got a whole bunch of NES games that I usually used to read in magazine back home. That were just imagine how those games could be, so I could easily play them. And then so that's how my whole an interest in games started. Pretty much every other boy from that.
I'll be honest, I'm a little jealous. Imagine you come in and getting to see the NES for the first time in 96, 97, the whole library. Did you buy it? Start collect? Oh man, you should have bought. Go to Funko Land. You could have bought the whole set for $8, man.
Oh my god, yeah, I know. So funny thing. When we arrived here in '97. So by then, I think N64 was already out about a year.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. By then, in Canada, US, just same as with US. I remember being in what's it, Toys R Us, because we still have Toys R Us here. But that was my first time walking in Toys R Us, and they had a sales bin. And in that bin, there was 3 copies of Earthbound. And I didn't know what it was. So I just bought myself an Earthbound for $15. And I'm kicking myself forever not buying 2 others in that bin. I still have that copy with me from then. But yeah, so it's crazy. Everything.
we all have
how
those
everything changed.
haunting
That's
memories.
awesome that you got it in the first place, though.
Yeah, I know. And I didn't know what it was. So I was just, it's a big box. So it's funny. And I just had bought a SNES from flea market. because my parents didn't want to like pay like full price for a brand new console back then, so it was like I got it from flea market pretty cheap, and for $15. And I was, to be honest, I didn't like the game because I haven't been like exposed to too many of like turn-based kind of JRPG. So it kind of like I was turned down a little bit by it, but I replayed it about 2 or 3 years later. That's where I actually started appreciating it, and
I feel like a lot of
I
people
never-
had that experience with Earthbound. The first time they played it, they were like, "What the hell is this?" And like, especially as a young kid, it was very dissimilar to anything else, I feel. So like, it's confusing experience. So like if you weren't expecting a quirky, weird, Americanized looking JRPG, it's this weird game. You know what I mean? I can see that being off-putting, but again, like you said, most people they play it again as they get older. Once they're used to the genre a bit, and they're like, "This is a masterpiece. It's brilliant." I know. I see how beautiful it is for what it is now.
It's like, why isn't there a westernized sequel to it?
I don't know. It to these days baffles me. Like all this, like they keep giving excuses of, I don't know why they don't want to make it, or even a proper remake of it.
Well, Mother 3's been fan translated that many times. That they should just do it at this point.
I don't know. Sick game. Yeah.
I'd love to hear more about your experience growing up in Iran. How did you buy games then? Were they a lot of like pirated games?
So there you go. Yeah. So over there, I do remember for NES, there were those games. I think the console was a Russian-made console called Micro Genius or Micro. So back in Iran, everybody knew NES as the Micro, and yes, all the games were like pirated and copied version of like the normal NES game. The cartridge, from what I remember, used to look like more Famicom like console, like Famicom cassette, not the large cassette, the NES cassette we had. But for the Mega Drive, Genesis here, Mega Drive there, that was totally different over there. It was actually the same, but full of pirated, like obviously like cartridges and stuff. Because first of all, like Iran didn't have like a thing because of sanction, nobody was really selling to them directly. So Iran had to pass through all these like hoops and everything. Yeah.
So I can imagine it would have been really hard to import anything, let alone video games and different things like that. And like a lot of countries were very similar. Like Brazil didn't get video games until like late into the 2010s and different things like that. So it's good to hear that like people were still playing games in those countries in these times.
Oh yeah, and it was crazy. And I do remember a lot what we used to have. So since the consoles were pretty like scarce and pretty expensive, so what we used to have was these clubs. So like these owners had like a couple of like consoles and a couple of like old Commodores and stuff, and you would go there, pay kind of by hour, and just play games there. We kind of don't really have the equivalent here. It's kind of like an arcade, kind of an arcade, but with actual consoles. So that was a lot of people's first like interaction with games back home. That was through these kind of clubs. Yeah,
they've actually got things in Europe that are opening up now. They're like PS5 bars, and you go in and pay like $25 for an hour, and you get to play PS5 any game you want to play. And reminds me of that. Yeah, it's really
okay. Good. So those kind of evolved, and now in Iran there is a lot of those as well. However, you can have like this coffee shop that you can go and sit and play video games and stuff like on PC. So they evolve into that right now. But it's this practice is pretty popular in Iran because of the price of being so high, and then you can like. So lots of people cannot afford like $60-$70 games, and then translated in Iranian money is like out of like it's like some people cannot really afford that. So that's basically that's how people like go and like have fun with video games and discover video games.
Yeah, that's interesting that it is so expensive, because I know like Turkey, for example, the price of PlayStation games is adjusted to their currency. So if you like change your PSN to like a Turkish PSN, you can buy brand new games for like $10 because that's the Turkish lira. So it's interesting to hear that Iran isn't like that, and they still have to pay.
No, because Turkey they don't have sanctions on right now because of the actual sanctions, even to this date. Especially like Microsoft, that's a given. Like Sony is a little bit like more lenient, like they allow like having at least have some like your account. But because of these sanctions, like that's the thing, you cannot have an account made in Iran. It doesn't they don't recognize it. So what people have to do, they have to create an account from like outside. And sometimes like the other issue that Iran has is because they don't have like kind of free internet. So they have to pass through VPNs and stuff like that. So their internet is already at a very slow speed. So then they have to add a VPN on top of that. So you can imagine like something that for us, it's given like we like preload a game and we download like 100 gig game like in about an hour or 2 hour. Over there, it can take up to like a week or two just to have one game.
If you're playing online with someone from Iran, they've jumped through a lot of hoops to get.
Oh yeah, and then all those like especially like a lot of them love like playing Fortnite like everybody else, but their ping and their like like lost data like packages it's through the roof. But even despite all of that, they try. Just it
they
brings
still want to
joy
play
anyway.
games.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
gaming's
you
for
gotta do
everyone,
what
right?
you gotta do. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
Did you guys have like a lot of Sega Master System stuff over there too?
Yes, Sega Master System was there. So Sega, so whatever reason, Nintendo was very like difficult with their like license and stuff. So that's why we had that Micro Genius kind of clone console. But for Sega, we had like most of the console from the back. Master System was not super popular, so it's really with Genesis and Mega Drive that they actually took up. But I do remember Master System. As a matter of fact, my first JRPG that I've ever experienced was on that system. Was that it's
Fantasy Star.
Yeah, Fantasy Star, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, good.
The
I was
very
hoping.
first
That's the
Fantasy
best
Star.
one. So I was hoping it was that one.
Yeah, I actually have a copy of it now, like because I like tried,
Oh.
like I finally tried to like beat it, like
It's-
without an emulator on the system. It's hard.
That's like one of my favorite games of all time. Like
Yeah.
most nostalgic games of my life.
Seriously, okay.
Oh yeah, the Fantasy Star on the Master System is literally one of my favorite games of all time, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, my very first, like that's what I'm saying. My very first JRPG. That's where I like actually like just seeing and there.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too. And then I
no,
played
yeah.
Nintendo, and I thought Dragon Warrior sucked. I was like,
Oh,
these
yeah, the first
graphics
Dragon
are
Warrior, yeah.
crap compared to the superior Master System graphics of Fantasy Star. This is like 7-year-old cringy me. But like yeah. But now I love Dragon Warrior too. Like
I love it. I love
love it.
all
Yeah,
four of
me
them.
too.
Yeah, but it's still like the first one. I still like can like play it. Like I try it, but
It's kind of meh.
yeah.
I actually love 3 the best. Everyone loves 4, but I like 3 the best.
I mean, my is backward. I like 2, 3, and 4. Like in that like thing because like 1 again, it left such a bad taste that I couldn't really. But
You could beat 1 in like 2 hours, I think.
yeah, yeah. And I didn't pay for it. I got it like for free. Like actually, one of my friends got it for free in one of those Nintendo Power thing. I think it was a free game at the beginning because they want to show how JRPG works, like to like Westerner, I guess. So they were giving that game for free. Yeah.
You can say the same for the Final Fantasy series. The first couple of games you could beat in a few hours, and then it wasn't until you got to like 6 where it was like, all right, this is a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
So good, dude. But yeah, I loved Master System. I played Ys and Miracle Warriors and Galvalius and Fantasy Star. That's where I like RPGs. That's sort of I love.
That's where you started from. Okay,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
that's
Big time.
cool. Yeah. For me, like the JRPG mainly like they picked up on the SNES. So like
I did play Ultima on the Atari, if you want to count that, but that was like I needed my older brother's help. I was so little, you know what I mean? Like I'm like couldn't read and shit. I'm like, what am I doing? He's like, go here and do this. But I did play that. Those games are amazing too.
Yeah.
I had the big floppy drive with the discs. Like the game was like on 7 floppy discs.
Yeah.
It was
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And as so you started serious collecting PlayStation in 2014. If we fast forward 9 years, what's your collection grown into? How big is it now?
So here's the thing. Like I always thought about like I've never like been into like collecting the quantity, so I really went by like quality. That's actually what's quality to me. Like there's some games that like people find it garbage, but I love it, so I have like memory with it. Like what was that on PlayStation 3? Venetica.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I love that game. It's like the game is broken, it's a mess, but I just love it. Like So so that's how like pretty much started. So I just went for mainly for everything that I remember I had like any memory with when I grew up, like especially like PlayStation. That's where I actually kept getting more and more like of those RPGs. So like on PlayStation 1, the majority of what I have is just like RPG games. And then same thing for PS2. PS2 I didn't have it as much because by then I was by PS2 I was in that area I was like more playing on PC. So I was like a little bit like went off of console. Like I was like wanted to play like PC Master Race and everything.
Oh,
I had like
we had that. We all had that part of our lives.
yeah,
as
I know,
well.
and I'm kind of a little bit sad because like I missed out on good games on like PS2 and GameCube. But hey,
that same thing happened to me for PS3, man. I was addicted to WoW during like that whole generation.
generation.
And so I played a little PS3 and Xbox 360 with my friends, but I never owned those consoles. So,
That's
but now it's still dope because I went back and now it's like you can go back and experience the library. It's still really fun, but
yeah.
I do regret it.
They're not gonna. Well, I would say they're not going to disappear, but we'll get into that later on.
Yeah.
I would
Especially
rather
the old
play.
games aren't going to disappear though.
I would rather have played 100 PS3 games than
PS3
WoW for
games,
2
yeah.
years for sure.
But
But it's all right.
And then it was funny because so I like it's like what was that 5th gen I was like into console. 6th gen I was kind of like that's not for me. I prefer like PC and stuff. And then for the 7th gen I don't know why I just wanted that PS3. So and actually like PS3 was the first console. It's actually my favorite console of all time. In case like I think Figs know about it, but for you, Joel, yeah, it's my favorite console of all time, mainly because that was the first console that I bought with my own money. And not only that, I had to wait in a line for about 3 days, like 2 days to get it because that was
that's
back in
exciting.
2006. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
exciting.
just the memory like that goes with it.
Mhm.
And yeah. So ever since like that console was announced, with that like weird like boomerang like controller thing. Yeah, I was
the
like,
batarang or whatever.
the batarang, yeah.
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 And we
Yeah,
got
I
the
really
George
have to have
Foreman
it,
grill, and it all just kicked off from there.
Yeah, all kicked off the the whole HD because I was with the computer and like being an engineer, I was like geeking around like and I have HDMI and 1080p and all those stuff and then Blu-ray and everything. So this whole thing
dude.
like yeah.
The OG release PS3 was a beast, dude. It did everything. It's got like fucking flash card memory slots and stuff. Like it's got everything.
Sony were losing money on that thing, weren't they? It was costing more to produce than what they were selling.
Oh yeah. They were losing about
Even with
$300
selling
bucks. Yeah,
and they were selling it for like $600 or something.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, I remember
my buddy compatible. Oh my god.
Yeah.
My buddy, he coughed up for that, and it was so sick, dude. It was a media center. We were watching movies on it, music, gaming. Like it was like the first time like your console was like your media hub in your room like that. Like I don't know how to describe it. It became like part of his computer setup and everything. I was like, we're in the future, boys.
Yeah.
Free online.
That was sick though. Yeah, that every time I'm thinking about it, I was like, why we don't get more of these now? But
well, you go online these days. It's like, I haven't got PSN at the moment. Do I want to play $10 to like maybe get in the game? I had a charge come out this morning because I forgot to cancel mine last month, and I haven't used it.
See, that's what happens to me. I always forget about the recurring charge. And it's like, got you for another year. I'm like, all right. Well, I'll remember next year. No.
Yeah, you don't.
And I use it enough to play online and stuff. Like it's cool. Like I was playing the new Quake 2 re-release online. Pretty fun. If anybody's played that.
I haven't played it, but I heard good things about it.
Super cheap. If you want like the digital copy, it was like $10 and looks awesome. And you can play it online with like 8 people. Do like deathmatch and all that stuff. It's really fun. Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, it's if you're an old boomer, I guess, and you like old FPS games, but I don't think it's fun. It's a good time, kiddos. You should give it a try.
I was a Doom gamer. I never played Quake, to be honest.
Oh, bro. Quake was so edgy, dude. The first one, Trent Reznor did the soundtrack, man. It was like so dark and like it was a badass game, man. Quake 1, Quake 2. I mean, if you play it now, you won't think so, but it looked amazing when it came out, man. Like I remember that game and I seeing it and just being like, graphics would never get better than this. It's one of those things, playing on like a really nice PC back then. Dude, it looks so good. Loved it. But yeah, I mean, now it looks like it's pretty bad, but that's all right. Doesn't matter. It's all about the charm. My girlfriend heard me play it for like 20 minutes, and she's like, "What is with these sound effects? Because it's so old school. It's like just like the whole time. It's just people grunting and shit." But I like
There is a
it.
version right now on
Charming.
Game Pass. I was playing it a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if that's the same or not. I think it was Quake 2.
Yeah, it just came out, so you might have.
It just came out. Okay.
Yeah, I think they gave
So maybe
it.
it's
They,
not
they
that.
probably did give it away for free on Game Pass. I wouldn't be surprised.
Makes
Okay.
sense. Xbox do that these days.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's going to go to Game Pass, it's from day one, and they don't wait 12 months or anything.
Okay.
Gosh, I don't know. It was something like that. I didn't even own a PC back then. I only got to PC game at my friends' houses. And I remember like going to people's houses and just being like sitting up and just playing StarCraft and Diablo 1 and Quake 2 and all these games for like hours at my friend's house. I'd just be like, dude, you could leave. I don't even give a damn. I was going to sit here and play Diablo for all day. Like, loved it. It was like a luxury to have like a nice.
Yeah, I
PC
remember
back
for
then.
Diablo 2, was it 98 when it came out? Around 98, 97? I'm not really sure. So around that area, I remember like the demo was coming out, and we had this like line internet. So I had like when dial up. So I was on that, and I had like the whole thing.
We remember.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, like yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
So I had set up the whole thing. I removed all the phone everywhere in the home. So I was like, make sure nobody like used the phone, because I wanted to download the freaking demo. I was like,
Yeah,
one
if
of
you had a
those
sister, you were
really-
screwed, man.
Oh,
They
I
didn't-
know.
No respect. They don't give a damn.
No,
And it
Using
was
that
probably like
phone.
100 megabyte download that you were doing, or something so small too.
yeah, I remember it was like on for about a good like 2 days, and then after my dad was like, "Yeah, get the hell out of there. I need to use the phone." So I was like, "Oh."
Remember the on peak and off peak data times, like having to wake up at 2:00 in the morning to
In the
use
morning.
the internet. I used to download all my music, and it'd be like 5 a.m. and Dad would wake up and be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Just downloading music. I've got 4 gig tonight."
It's amazing.
Oh, good times.
Yeah, man, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I don't know. Like I said, I remember back then, just it was hard being a PC gamer for me because, like, I always had these potatoes for computers. Like, I would get my parents buy a computer, but they wanted to just be able to print, Word docs. So it would always be garbage.
Basic.
And so, like, half the time if I'd get a game, it wouldn't run, or it just would be like garbage, and just be like depressed about it. So, but
yeah, I
yeah.
remember too, like most of the computer we ever had, because my parents like worked a lot with computer, was always Mac. So you can run crap on those. We couldn't do anything with those. So I was always
No
like,
games.
yeah. And I just remember like in 2000s, like there was that little the government was giving all the families like a few money, a little bit amount of money for them to like have like buy a computer for educational purposes. That was like our first like real computer that I had, like PC. And and that was around the same, like that's what I was saying, like around like 6th gen console. I didn't really bother because now I had a PC and it could actually run games like 10, 20 FPS, but it could actually run games. So I was like pretty happy.
No, I was the same. I always had a computer that couldn't run the games that I wanted to play. So it was like be in the early 2000s, and I'd be playing like early 90s PC adventure games and different things like that. But it didn't matter when you were young playing video games. You were just happy to play anything.
I know. I feel back then our standards were so much lower, but we had much more fun than now. Now everybody is so like preoccupied, like what's the graphic, like what's like the what's the pixel count, what's the FPS. But back then we didn't care about any of that. Like I remember, like I play some of my game on N64. That thing runs for like 12, 13 FPS. But back in the day, I never like bothered with any of that.
Yeah,
But
we didn't
right
even
now,
care.
you put a 12 FPS game in front of me, I was like, what's that crap?
We were definitely more appreciative too of
Yeah.
look at like demos. I used to get a demo disc and play every single game on there, watch all the movies. These days, demos are free. I don't download them.
I know.
They're giving us this stuff, but back before you had to buy it and you just appreciated it so much more.
Yeah.
I think going along for the whole progression of it all made a huge difference too, because I can remember when a PS1 game was like blow me away, like the cutscenes in Resident Evil or the cutscenes in Final Fantasy VII were at the time freaking amazing, like absolutely mind blowing. Like I was like, I can't believe how good this is.
Yeah.
And then now it's like no, it's so not. But at the time, it really was. So like you did enjoy it, and you could appreciate it, and I feel like I don't know, it doesn't matter. Like and and it's weird too because like they are demaking games now. Like that's a thing, people want to play Bloodborne on PS1. You know what I mean? Like it's because or a perfect example. It's like the Silent Hill remakes on PS3 are worse than the PS1 and PS2 versions or whatever. It's just like not as good. Like the older, crappier ones feel better.
Yeah.
Like they look, it makes it better. Like I don't know.
Crash Bandicoot games were redone, but because the controls were done for the PS1 where it didn't have the analog stick, they had to make a decision: do we change it or do we keep the original one in? So it's like it's not going to be the same, where you're trying to make a game that was 20 years old. Just make new games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the HD remaster cash grab.
And that's like, I mean, like, I don't know, later you're going to talk about it, but that's again, like 7 generation, I was super into gaming, but come around like the 8th gen, I really didn't like it. I think it's my least favorite of all generations so far because it was generation of remake and remasters. Like, honestly, there wasn't not one game that was like really like made me like, yeah, all the Souls games was amazing and everything, but it wasn't a generation that like kind of marked me as like 7th gen did, or like maybe the 5th generation did. I don't know, how do you guys feel about that though?
No, I agree with you there. I would say that the PS4 library is amazing, but it's games that my favorite games are all like, oh, it's a remake of the PS3 version, or it's a trilogy that was on PS1 or something. Like if you just look at new PS4 games, Elden Ring, maybe Dark Souls games, Bloodborne, but I can't think of many more. And then you got all the negatives, always online. You put the game in, it needs an update from day one. Oh, this game needs a 10-hour download to play. Like there's so many things that we didn't have back in even the PS3 era. It's crazy.
Yeah, especially at the beginning of PS3 area. Like that was so good. Like you had the disc, then there were no day one patch and stuff. And then little by little, they figured it out. Let's give an unfinished game, and then we'll build it up over time. And those sucker
I feel like
the whole thing. Yeah.
It initially went from just patching games and improving them after, because there's broken games on PS2 that can never get fixed. So patching games is good, but then it got into we can release broken games and patch them later and get the money first.
Yeah, you don't have to finish the code. Don't worry, just release it like that, and then later on, when we have we got all the money and we have time, then we're gonna release a patch. And that's actually basically what left a very bad taste in my mouth from the 8th gen. I still enjoyed it. I still have the Xbox One X here in front of me. I have the PlayStation 4 Pro and everything. I enjoyed the game, and one of the reasons I haven't jumped in the 9th gen is because somehow some of the games that I still want, I can still play them on the 8th gen. So we'll see how it's gonna go from here on, because I do really want to get the PS5.
It's only really started that this year we're getting PS5 exclusives, like Final Fantasy 16, the PS5 exclusive. Prior to this year, all the games are still coming out on PS4 as well, so it wasn't that big incentive to upgrade. But also PS5s were sold out, and now they're not sold out. So maybe Sony now that you can buy the PS5, we're going to sort of slow down with the PS4 production and things like that.
Yeah, I was also thinking getting when I get the PS5, because apparently it's completely backward compatible with PS4, so I can.
Yeah, there's about 10 games that don't play on it.
They don't play well. Okay, yeah, I can just get rid of my.
Yeah, that's a small list. There's a couple PSVR games that don't work right.
Okay.
Couple of limited run titles and nothing that you're
Yeah,
gonna be like, I
it's-
really want to play this.
You know, if you want, you could keep a PS4 Slim laying around
Yeah.
just for those 10 games if you really need to. So one thing I feel like I don't know, maybe I feel like all the generations had like a distinct vibe to them, a style to them, and then this PS4 generation is just so eclectic and all over the place, and the indie scene exploded, and it's just like this big mishmash of what's on Steam and what's on Switch and what's on PS4. It's not. I don't know. It's like way harder to look at a game and just see a game and be like, that's a PS4 generation game. Where I feel like you could do that way easier with all the other generations. Like I could look at a PS1 game, like that's a PS1 game or PS2 game, PS3 maybe. I don't know. Some
PS3 you
but
can, because it has
PS4
that orangey look to it.
could be PS4 could be Bloodborne, could be Stardew Valley, could be freaking, you know what I mean? It could be like it's just all over the place. It could be, Curse of the Moon looks like Castlevania. It's hard to say like what, I don't know. But as far as like a collector goes, I think it will be definitely like one of the more collectible generations for a long time, just because of the massive amounts of quality stuff that is in the library. Yeah, it's like 4,000 PS4 games right now or something crazy like. And so like I have like over 1,000, and I think they're all like actual solid titles. Like I've filtered down my collection a few times. So
one thing that both of you mentioned, like that the kind of the explosion of all these like indie games. So I remember like that what was it, Limited Run. I bought their first like 60 games. Like I was like every like Friday, I think they were releasing just like at 6 a.m, like just click and like buy it. And like I kind of burned out of that. And that's kind of what I was saying. Like, other generation, I would like buy the game, not necessarily because it is of like collectability, because I really liked it. And if it happened that it was collectible, good for me. Like I loved all the horror games on PS2, and I kept all my horror PS2 games, and now they're worth crazy amount of money now. But on when on PS4, I was just buying and I felt like they were trying to, hit you with like in your collector sides and like just like get money out of you. But at the end, after the 51st like that I bought, and I like sit down and I played them, and I was like, this is not me. Like that's not the game that I want. And that was kind of at the beginning of like for me like to go down the hill. And then from time to time like a Souls game would come in, and then like a God of War was there, and I was like, yeah, good. Or like Horizon. But generally speaking, that's what I'm saying. Like I felt that they were trying to do a lot of cash grab with it, either these collector sets or with like this remake and
they came for your money. They figured us out, didn't they?
I know, and I kind of
tactics, yeah.
I wasn't mad at them. I was mad at myself being like so dumb. Like I was just
no. I think your experiences, a lot of people's experiences. There's a lot of people who were into collecting, and they were into it. And at first, it was really cool and it was really fun. And then after a while, they were like, "I'm being abused. Stop this! Why is this?" Now it's like 3 collector's editions a week. You want me to buy? Like, and it's like, okay, this has just gotten outrageous. And there's 7 companies doing it now. It's not easy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just you can't keep up unless you are literally devoting $50,000 a year to collecting. You're not keeping up with all the stuff that's coming out, and I'm not.
Yeah, so that's the point. Like, so they may be collectible, but there is no guarantee that another company doesn't print the same game. And it happened. A couple of games that will get printed by other companies as well. And that's and the other thing that kind of I wasn't really happy about it, and then maybe that's it was my I was gullible like thinking of that. I remember like their very first game, Limited Run,
Saturday Morning RPG.
No, before that. That was their second.
Oh, the Vita one, Breach and Clear.
Yeah, Breach and Clear. Yeah. So they were like, there is like 1,000 or 1,500 of that, but for years after, you could like see like brand new one being sold on eBay, and then you would just remember like, did they really like release 1,500? Maybe they're like fucking printed. Sorry about that. Maybe they printed like 3,000 of them, and then just little by little they're just selling them here and there, and that's where like I kind of felt duped, and like I was like, damn, you're gullible. So then. That whole thing left.
To add to that, the copies that were sold on eBay all came out of North Carolina too. So it was one seller from the same state that they're in who had copies for years. Like it was on eBay for like 5 years. You could check sold listings, and the one seller was
Exactly.
constantly selling the same game, the rarest Vita game, always being sold. Like, come on,
Yeah,
they didn't
I
have
know.
numbers
Then-
on their games. Like the games weren't numbered, so you couldn't guarantee that there's only 1,000. Play Asia, our games are limited to 2,000, and they're all numbered. So no one's going to get number 2010 because that doesn't exist. But like that was a big fault that a lot of people had with limited run from the start. I think.
And then you remember there were some of the game that had a hole punch on the reverse, and then those were not supposed to be that many of them because that was just for the the personnel inside the limited run. But apparently there's so like I don't know over 100 of those with those hole punch. So that means that for me, at least for me, I say like anybody can do whatever they want to do with their money. But to me, I kind of felt a little bit duped on that, and I was like, they are really just cashing on that collector. Everybody want to be collector back then. You remember, like especially at the beginning of like 8th gen, everybody was like hardcore into collecting like old video game stuff. And I think they tried to create a cash grab on those people who missed out on like older generation, and they wanted to become a collector or just have something in their collection to say, hey, I have like one of, I don't know, 10,000. So that's what they were trying to cash on.
They
But,
did
I
well
don't
to
want
get
to
us
really
hooked,
talk
too.
ill about them because at the end of the day, they made game for Vita, whereas Sony literally like dropped them. So, it's kind of, I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. I still appreciate what they do.
agree. I have a very similar experience that I collected the first 50, and I know a lot of people that collected the first 10 or 20, and I feel like limited run got us all sucked in with the first 50 limited run games. It's so much better than the last 50 that were released recently. Like the quality has gone completely down.
Yeah.
There's still good ones out there, but we were getting games like Firewatch and I don't know. It constantly there was good games, and it was one a month, and then it came to one every 2 weeks, and then it was 2 a week, and it just got to a point where, hang on, what's going on here? Like I was enjoying collecting this set; they're all in order, but it's
You
not
don't
like
want 332 Chemco RPGs?
Chemco. Oh my god, Chemco RPGs. That's a scam if I've ever heard one. They should just be on one. That should be one release. Every Chemco game ever.
Seriously. I am with you though that like overall I appreciate what they do though because they absolutely 100% hands down have released lots of games that I love that would not have been released. Like I would not have an FMV game collection if it were not for limited run games. I think every single freaking one of them is from them. You know what I mean? So like they do cool stuff, and just remember, guys, it's all in your own heads. It's all in our own heads. We don't have to buy everything they offer.
Totally.
There's nothing wrong with them trying to sell lots of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just we're the problem because we're like, no, we want all of it, and you're making it too hard. So it's like So I do understand. Like if you were somebody keeping up that pace, full set collecting, and you were used to the pace. And then all of a sudden now they're overwhelming you and you can't keep up anymore. That does suck.
Yeah.
Because that sucks. Because like, or what it is like you're like, no, now I can keep up, but I can't buy nothing else. I can't buy any other games. All I'm buying is these games. And like you said, is this the game I want? Do I want my Chemco RPGs or do I want to do Dead Space? I'd rather have that. You know what I mean? Or whatever. It's like, so, but it's, for me, once I just I never had any like I never thought I would get a full set, so I was never like after a full set. But yeah, just pick and choose the ones you want, guys, and just think of them like those companies just like as any other publisher. You don't need to get all of them. Who cares about the little numbers on them, all that crap? It's all psychology. It's bull crap. Just get the games you want, and you know what'll happen? The good games will be worth money, and the crap and the other ones won't. That's what's going to happen down the road. Like there'll be so many of those games that aren't. Have no one has interest in them. I've seen games like right now you could go on there. They're like $10, and they're probably rare, but just no one cares. Nobody wants them. They don't look like they're fun. So, yeah. Oh man, thanks for the $5 tech, right?
Yeah, thanks for that, Tech Ray. You didn't have to do that.
No, you
Show's
did, and
pretty
everyone
good.
else has to now as well. Otherwise, get out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Well, let's move into a different topic, guys. And
Yeah.
the title of tonight's show is Why Do We Buy Collector's Editions, Limited Editions, and Special Edition Video Games? So we're going to talk about all the different things that come along with collecting collector's editions. And Arzen, you're the perfect guest for this because you've got a very amazing collection of collector's editions from all around the world.
Yeah. So the way that I see limited edition and collector's edition is a way that I can show my appreciation to that company that make the video game. Because usually, if I don't care as much about the video game or it's just a game I just want to play, I just buy the normal thing. And usually, I buy the collector's edition either if I know the game or like after when I finish like playing the game once, and I'm like, okay, you know what, that company deserve my money for more. Like, you know, I want to like to show my appreciation to this company more, and then that's where I'm gonna put down the money for collector's edition. That was one that's the idea now. But back in the day, I was like just like I guess any other kid, like, you know, the bigger the box, the better, like the more exciting that you you got, you know, all those little things that you don't really need. And as a matter of fact, like when you said like one of the very first collector's editions that I've ever bought, I was also when we came to Canada, it was for Valkyrie Profile. I'm just gonna show it
that's
to you
one
right
of the
here.
ones I
So
need to get. Oh, that is
yeah, so
fucking sick.
that
dude.
that game was like amazing. Like that was like one of the
Oh,
like,
man.
I didn't even
That's-
know there was a collector's edition.
yeah. So it's a Japan
Bro.
only like collector's edition, and it comes with I think it comes with a pocket watch. What else it comes with? Oh yeah, so it's the game. Let me just double do here so it actually follows me. So yeah, it comes with the calendar from 2001, I think. 2001. Yeah, it's kind of a, you know, one of these wall calendar. That
Oh,
you
that's
put?
beautiful.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah.
No Y2K there.
Yeah.
That
You
thing
know,
is
obviously
gorgeous.
it came with the game, and the thing that I really like bought that for because I thought like, hey, I'm gonna just wear that because it's cool at the school. But everybody started laughing at me because that was like a pocket watch. It was just like, you know, a silver pocket watch. I actually like wear that at school once, and I was like, everyone was laughing at me.
No one liked my top hat monocle or my pot.
No, they don't. So yeah, so the idea was like, yeah, I was like, you know what, I really like enjoy that game, so let me just give them more of my money. Like, so that's basically like how I go about it. I don't know if what's your idea, what how you guys are thinking about this.
Well, I really want a copy of Valkyrie Profile. I don't have the SRB copy of that. It's insanely expensive.
Yeah,
That's
right
one
now,
of
yeah.
one of my treats for myself someday. That'll be like a tax return present or something like that.
Yeah.
Or what I cash out like my PTO at the end of the year usually, and I'm always like, that's a vacation or two I could have taken and I didn't. So
Yeah.
I'm buying some dumb damn thing that I want. Like, I'm not being responsible with that money because I could have been irresponsible and slept for 2 weeks or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, anyway, gorgeous. You want to talk about your collections? I mean, you collect more the collections.
Well,
than I do.
I went through stages. So like today, my collector's editions are just my favorite games. Like how Arzen said, I got the games that I'm most attached to. So all the From Software games, I've got them all in the collector's editions because they all mean something to me. I've played them for hundreds of hours. I've got all the trophies. The pieces in the collector's editions mean something. The Bloodborne one has a bell that I know what the bell means because that's to summon someone in online in game. So it's like, to me, that's really special. However, going back into like PS3 collecting, I was at a point where I was just buying things for the sake of it. So I was getting to a point where I had excess of 150 collector's editions and then had a whole room for itself. And I love that room, but after time, you got to clean these things. Collector's editions aren't like normal games. They don't just fit on the shelf. They're all different sizes. And coming with that, they get dirty. So if you want to own collector's editions, you've got to clean them regularly. Otherwise, you're going to have dust in them. So I started selling most of mine off. I've got one little shelf there of big box stuff. But apart from that, unless it like fits on these shelves, that's kind of the rules for me. Collector's editions are amazing, but I limit myself now to like small limited edition box stuff. I like really heavy items. And you guys would probably agree with me that collector's editions today aren't the same. I find the PS3 era was the peak, where if you bought a collector's edition, it was a heavy box. It didn't just come with a statue. You got a steelbook, you got an art book, you got a soundtrack, you got, movie posters, art cards. Today, you buy a massive PS4 collector's edition. You don't even get a game. You just get a big statue and a download code. Like, thanks so much, Tech, for the donation.
Yeah, and you know what? Like the first time that started, I remember it was with the Halo 5 limited edition, the collector's edition. With the one with the Master Chief and the other guy. It didn't even came with it came with a download code, and I think lots of people got angry, and then Microsoft for a limited time put the code give it address. You would go on their website, you put the code of your digital game, and they would send you a physical copy. That's actually what started it all. And I remember I pre-ordered that crap, and I was so mad at myself because like 5 months later. It was on Amazon on sale for like $50, and I had paid like almost $200 for that.
That is sad seeing those, because they're not $100. They're $200-$300. Like Cyberpunk 2077, that was on clearance like a month after it came out, and it was so expensive. Fallout 76 collector's edition, massive helmet, but it was such a letdown what was actually inside it.
Yeah. And that also goes to a little bit like my disappointment from 8th gen. It was exactly like on collector's edition, because on PS3 side, I bought so many of it. On PlayStation 2 also, like I was grabbing a lot. We didn't get much in North America, I think, for collector's edition. The one that I have like ever since is this one from Bully.
That was,
and this one is
nice.
Still
sealed too.
Sealed, yeah. Wow. And I think I bought
That's
this
gorgeous.
one for like 200, but I think I had some voucher and stuff like back in the day. So I found this one.
Awesome.
Like I had one, but I hadn't opened it, and I had lost the ball. There is a like beach like football. There's a beach ball in it, I think. And I had lost this one, and then so I found it later in a shop here, the one that I'm talking to you about. Like if you ever come to Victoria, I'll take you there. They have 6 stuff. So yeah, I got that from there. So, but things like that, you don't. I didn't see it stuff like that, like up to this quality on the 8th gen. But again, I might be like a little bit mistaken here, but I'm biased because I didn't really like the 8th gen. But yeah, 7th gen and before that, that was like that was the era for that.
Thanks, Tech. Yeah, so I mean, I definitely agree with you, and like you're completely right that I feel like once this PS4 gen started, like just all the worst business practices for gaming is when it just got completely out of control. Like it started sooner than that, but it's when it just got loot box crazy and raffle crazy, DLC crazy, bad patch, like all the things we all hate blossomed. But at the same time, like I feel there's a lot of pushback against a lot of that stuff, and long term, if you think about like how many of those games have they tried to make that failed, like how many of these pay to service games like just don't even get off the ground, you know what I mean? All these Fortnite clones and these
Battleborn, for example.
Yeah, or what the hell was that one that EA came out with that last week? Anthem, yeah, exactly. Like so, like they have found some success, but at the same time, I think there's probably people realizing that's not where all the money is in the industry. Like Elden Ring came out and people were going, wait a minute, maybe we should make a game like we used to. I don't know. So
I think you've nailed it though, Joe, because if EA, like if there were creators in EA and they went to the board, hey, we want to make this new game, the board's just going to be like, well, what happened to Anthem? Why don't you guys pick a PS2 game that sold 1 million copies and remake that, because we know that's going to sell. And like I can understand investors and like these are the people that are making the decisions. It's not gamers, it's people with money involved, and it's like it's basically like a risk for them. So they want to take the safe risk because they want their money to grow. So unfortunately, with that comes games that we've already had slapped on. Like look at Red Dead, for example. We're getting I'd argue a worse game than what we got on PS3 because it hasn't got multiplayer. It's a dumbed down version. What's up, Reggie? Welcome to the show, man.
What up, man?
It's disappointing, this state of gaming these days. Like I wish there were more companies with balls, like From Software, to go, no, we're going to make a brand new IP. Like they could have made Dark Souls 4 and guaranteed that was going to sell a certain amount of copies, but they went, no, we're going to make Elden Ring a completely new IP, Game of the Year. Sekiro, Game of the Year. Like, where are these AAA companies? There's not many of them out there these days. There's so many indie companies doing it, but AAA companies not.
Well, I think that's where all the passion in the industry is going to be, and all the creativity. Like a couple, an indie team of 5-6 people can make a game that's, for on a shoestring budget, that's way better than a AAA title, in my opinion. Like I just, especially if it's a AAA title where they're gonna have a pay to win model or a subscription model or a battle pass or anything. Like I personally avoid that stuff like the plague. Like I won't pay anything that's free to play. I don't know about you guys. Like when I hear free to play, that's like a anti-advertisement to me. Free to play to me, we know what that means. Oh, it's full of annoying children and irritating people, like absolutely the most dumpster fire human beings in the world who are going to be on this lobby just screaming and being idiots. Like I don't want to be associated with the free to play. I just don't. It's trash. No, thank you. I'm like, I'll pay double. Give me a game that costs $120 to play, and I only can play with people who work for a living. That would be much better. I'd much rather play that game all day long. I want to play a game where it's $500 to play, so I know that it's only adults who are like 40 like me who can play the damn thing. That's what I would like. Like I don't like free to play. I hate those games. I'm old school though. Like like I really am. I'm just like you guys. I'm like I don't want a patch. I don't want nothing. I don't even want DLC. Like I'm against DLC. Some people are like, why? Why are you against DLC? Make another game. Make a sequel. That's why. Screw you. I don't want your DLC. I don't. I want one experience. I can finish the experience. And then if you got something more for me, make another game and I'll buy that. Like I don't like this nickel and dime. I don't like the first version and then the ultimate version and then the Game of Year edition and then the third release and then the HD remaster on the next console with all the patches. Yeah. Like I'm sick of this crap. I'm tired of buying the same game 5 times. Like I'm just tired of it.
I think it's spot on there, Joe. Like Uncharted did it really well with the Lost Legacy. They could have made that DLC, but they're like, no, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make it half price, and we're going to make a new game.
Hell yeah!
I didn't hear one person complain about that being a short game. No, it was.
Far Cry does that too. Far Cry always comes out with like a main release, and then they'll have a little spin-off game that's a cheaper. And you know what? If you want a little more Far Cry, here you go. Here's New Dawn, or here's whatever Primal, or whatever the hell it is. That's what I'm talking. I like that model a lot better. Yeah, I just, I don't know. I guess
don't tell Joe about the director's cut.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, hey, if they put boobies in the director's cut, I'm all right with it. Then you can re-release that. Yeah. So.
Tech loves your setup too, Joe. It is awesome.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's called. Fitting everything in this little ass room. It looks like it's crammed in here. Dude, I got stuff in front of stuff. I got You want to see the rest too. It's not good.
It's like that when the backdrop's just all your stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff.
It's bad.
Hey guys, I think it's about time to play Figsy's quiz.
Oh yeah. Let's do this. I didn't even talk about your mic. Oh.
All right, guys. So once again, Pavel has done all the questions. Oh, and Sylvan. Pavel and Sylvan have done the questions for today's quiz. And we might actually have a disadvantage for you, Joe, because we have some bootleg questions about video games that Ozan might know the answers to.
It's going to be Russian bootleg games.
Yeah, they're about Russian bootleg games.
Oh, that's right up my alley. All right.
Just pull up the questions 1 second.
Back in the day, I played lots of games.
Do we have a volunteer on who would like to go first tonight?
You can go first.
Yeah, sure.
All right, guys. The way this will work is there's going to be 8 questions. Each question is going to be worth 1 point. If you get the question wrong, it will go to the other person for the chance to steal. Arzen, you'll be going first tonight. So the first question is, what animal didn't have a Nintendo DS game? Was it the tiger, the dolphin, the rat, or the raccoon?
I would say a dolphin.
Incorrect. Joe?
Oh God. I mean, the only raccoon games I know were on PS3. Did Sly come out on DS? I think it did come out on DS, actually. I think Sly did come out on DS for some reason. Because I think I hacked my DS and I think I got that crap on there. Tiger. All right, so I'm going to say it's either a tiger or rat. How can there not be a tiger game? Seems so. All right, I'm going to go tiger because it seems like it's not the answer. I'm going tiger.
So the Sly Raccoon game is just exclusive to Sony, Joe. It was Raccoon.
It was? Oh, God
We
damn
got
it.
Tigers, Circus
you
Life,
already
we got
got it.
My Pet Dolphin, and Ratatouille.
I'll see about
My
that.
pet dolphin. I was like, Echo the Dolphin was Sega, so that never came in. Like,
Yeah.
Nintendo would never do that. I was like, that was my.
Oh, you're lucky my battery's dead. I know it's on here, you son of a.
You got like a cracked copy or something. It's like when you get a Mario game on your on your Steam Deck.
It's definitely hacked. So I don't know, but I thought I had that on there. Maybe.
All right, question 2. Joe, this one's for you. What world-famous brand has a limited Nintendo DSi console and cartridge with the training of the staff of this company? Is it McDonald's, Burger King, Coca-Cola, or Pepsi?
McDonald's.
The correct answer was McDonald's.
Yeah.
Nice.
Little McDonald's training game out there on the DS, and there's a really good YouTube video documentary out there if you're interested in hearing more about
Nice.
that one.
Yeah, I'm taking note of that.
All right, question 3. Arjun, this one's for you.
Yeah.
What is the game title of this game?
I have no clue. It has to be like one of those Excite bike or whatever, but yeah, that's what I think. But I'm not sure. Yeah.
We'll hand it over to Joe. It was close.
Is Vin Diesel involved?
Yeah. Maybe the movie or thinking about that. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Triple X. Either that or it's KKK. This is some really messed up game. I don't know what this is, dude. Moto GPX XXXXXX.
Has to be
I
something
was
like
closest to the bike. It was actually
the BMX.
BMX. See, I was going with some bike thing because you said he was close with the bike, so I'm like Moto GPXXXX. All right,
I was in the age where everything was like a Tony Hawk clone. And they were all good.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, question 4, Joe. This one's for you.
All right.
What's the title of this game?
Oh, pal.
It's like
What
a
the
bad
hell
Sonic
is
Tomb Raider.
this? What is that? It's like
Mario.
cracked out Pac-Man, Samurai Mario. Is that Laura Croft on the top left? I don't know what this is, but I want to buy it immediately, whatever it is. This is amazing. Shoot, dude. I don't even know. These all companies aren't even connected. It's not even like I could. It's not like what. It's the Nintendo, Sega, Activision collection. Like, what the hell is this? Dude, I have no. Oh my god. I'm gonna say this is Mary Kate and Ashley.
Incorrect. Awesome for the steal.
I'm not even gonna try this one. I have no
Yeah, I
idea.
know idea. Jesus Christ.
I'm still like mesmerized by the Tomb Raider up there.
This has got to be a bootleg game. This is one of the
No,
bootlegs.
this was a PAL title. It was Asterix and Obelix.
Oh, okay.
What?
All right. Okay.
All right, at the end of round 2, Joe's got a lead of 1 over Arzen on none. Still anyone's game at this point, guys.
Yeah. I'm definitely probably not getting any more.
All right, question 5. Arzen, this one's for you. Peggy 4 rating can only be seen in the covers of this South European country.
Italy?
Not Italy. Joe?
Norway. No, I'm just kidding. That's not in the South. It's South European.
Norway's got North in the name.
I'm not fucking being as retarded as they could possibly be. The North Pole? No, I'm just kidding. Greece.
So we were looking for Portugal.
That ain't in the South. That's like in the West middle.
Yeah, I know. Europe doesn't have a south.
Yeah, right? What are you talking
I
about?
actually believe
Like,
Portugal, I feel like it's the most southern European country.
Southern? Okay, well, there you go.
It's got the islands that are like off Africa too. So if you want to,
I wouldn't argue geography with Figsy.
Yeah,
I'll be honest
me
with you. I'm just
neither.
saying, this dude plays GeoGuessr 24 hours
Yeah.
a day. So,
all right, Joe, question 6, and this is going to be a video question. So I'm after, what game is this song from?
I am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you.
was I supposed to be able to see the video? Because it's Conkers.
Yeah.
It was Conkers.
I mean, was I supposed to be able to see that video?
Yeah. That was the question.
Okay, all right.
Good one.
Oh,
Good one.
maybe. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I stuffed that one up.
You're but it's still like the song is like, yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, no, I stuffed that one up. I had a
All right, let's keep the score at 1-0 then.
My bad, Pavel.
I would not have gotten it if you didn't show me Conkers.
All right.
I'm like, well, I can see Conker. That's not very.
It's been
There
a while
he is.
since I've had a video question to add in.
You
All
just
right,
saw a
question
shit monster. You got excited. You can. I mean, I get it.
Throwing toilet paper at it. Yeah, that was awesome.
Arzen, I'm going to show you 2 photos, and you have to tell me what video game is being made from these 2 photos. So each photo is a clue. The video game is 2 words.
I got NBA one side.
It's Conkers.
No, it's not. Yeah,
Just fucking-
I don't know. I'm like, whoa. I have no clue.
Hand this one over to Joe.
All right, so I think it's James Pond.
Correct answer was James Bond. Joe
Oh
gets it.
yeah.
Wow.
I was just emulating my brains out the last few days, and I got all them games, so I'm lucky.
All right, I got one for you now, Joe.
All right. Hey, I like this. Okay, so we got the finger pointing at Adam. Oh, it's Adam's Family.
Joe gets it right. It was Adam's Family.
Way to go. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I do have a tiebreaker question, but I'm actually going to bring the tiebreaker question out tonight just for Arzen because it's
Yeah, it's like
this one.
over here.
What's the video game?
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, that has to be the Duck Hunt.
Вот с птичьими, вернее, с утиными игрушками разобраться довольно просто. Почему я стал говорить про утиные игры? Да потому что сегодня у нас целым блоком пойдут 2 игры. Это «Черный плащ», Darkwing Duck.
So
Darkwing
that was
Duck.
the Russian bootleg of DuckTales.
All right.
Cool.
All right, Joe,
You got everything.
congratulations. You have
Yeah.
taken this week's quiz. Thanks for playing.
Good job. Good job.
Now, before we end the quiz, I do have a question for chat. And just a reminder that we are keeping score for chat. I haven't updated it from last week. I've forgotten who got last week's point, but I will go back after and add you to this. But yeah, so far we've got a couple of people on 1 point each. So chat, your question this week. What is the video game? We've got 4 pictures. You guys all can help each other work it out, but the first person to name the full game title will get the point. First person to get 5 points will win a video game.
I'm putting it in the private chat just 'cause it's fun. Nah, it's definitely what it is.
Yeah, Joe knows it.
Hell yeah!
Oh, Tech has got it right.
Mm,
No, you got it wrong. Sorry.
he's close.
You're
He's
very
close.
Very close. That might be a clue. Oh, Cyrus gets it right. Bugs Bunny Lost in Time is correct.
There it is.
Cyrus takes this week's point. Congratulations, Cyrus.
Good job.
Very
Thanks
cool.
everyone for playing.
So
We'll I'll update the scores this week.
That's actually a pretty good game too. I like.
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I actually
PS1.
sold a copy this week on eBay for like $60. So
There you go. Damn. I know.
and I played it this week too because I cleaned it and tested it. So played it and sold it this week.
Very cool.
What have you guys been playing at the moment?
Well. Go ahead. What have you been playing, Arsen?
Yeah, recently I've been playing these 2. So Zelda, big. I'm about like 200.
I haven't heard. Is that game any good?
Let me tell you. Yeah, it's honestly, and every aspect is an upgrade over the previous one. So I love it extremely. And again, I put about like 250 hours in it, and
You're still playing it.
I'm
That's
still playing it.
you know, it's a damn good
playing
game.
Monster because the thing
I
about
put
this
100
game-
in and I took a break because I'm like, I'll just give it 12 months and then I'll go back and
go
have
back.
a-
Yeah, it has like it's like 3 levels, so I find so much stuff in the depth down below. And then
I let my
and
sister
then this
borrow
one,
that
the Marvel Ultimate Alliance, because that was my favorite game on PlayStation 3. You know, they made a remake of the Ultimate Alliance because it first came out on the 6th gen. Then they made a remake for PS3, and then they came with the second one on PS3. And then I think this one is only available for Nintendo. I don't know if they made it for other consoles. And I just love the gameplay of it. So yeah, I've been like pouring times in these 2 recently. That's me.
That's cool. Yeah, I was saying I let my sister borrow Tears of the Kingdom, and like she's like, I'm not done yet. I'm like, I don't expect you to be done for like a year and a half. Like, don't worry about it. Like, I'll be shocked whenever you say you are done. I'll be like, really? You sure?
And it's pretty much the only reason I bought the Switch, because I never really I didn't want anything on Switch that was like really interesting me. But I was like, this one I'm gonna get it.
Not even Breath of the Wild. You just Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, because the Breath of the Wild, I waited and I got it on the Wii U, because that's what they promised, and I was like, and that's kind of what I boycott a little bit, like the Switch, because you know how they abandoned the Wii U. I really love that console. So yeah, I played the first one like on the Wii U, and maybe after I finish this one, I'm gonna buy it again on the Switch, see if it's any better or there's any improvement. But it ran pretty good on the Wii U, the first game.
Very cool.
You're not wrong though. It was the first, like I played a lot of Switch games, but it was the first like real Switch exclusive that I put like 200 hours or more than 100 hours into.
Yeah.
I've played like hundreds of hours of Stardew Valley and games, but you know, I played them on computer and on PlayStation.
Other stuff, yeah.
I guess I put in 100 hours into Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, but like it was a remake of the original Diamond game, which is a DS game. You know, it wasn't a full new IP. But like the new Pokemon games, I found pretty disappointing, unfortunately. Violet and Scarlet. I bought them day one. I tried to get into them. I played them a few months later after they got patched, and I was still quite disappointed. I'm going to give them another go now that they've put out free DLC and different things like that. But I find it's a case of if a game gets released broken, I struggled to get back into it if I've played it from day one.
That makes sense.
It
In fun
depends.
fact, I never played any Pokemon games. I actually don't like Pokemon games. So maybe
My
like
man.
future-
My man.
Yeah, I
Thank
know.
you. You said it.
So,
Thank you.
and I grew
Goddamn.
up around it, and that's what everybody was talking about.
I feel like I'm
in
gonna
the
get
course,
lynched
like,
when I talk.
yeah,
about
in the school like break and everything. Everybody was talking about it. I never really grasped it. I do recognize it's a really good game because otherwise there won't be so many like cult following it. But I don't know. Maybe one day when my daughter grows up, so maybe she's gonna be into Pokemon, and then I'll discover it. But for now, I'm good.
So
Sarah said, my heart is broken, nothing on the Switch. And just want to give Cyrus a congratulations. He just passed the 2,000 mark on the Switch in his collection.
holy
So that's a
jibby. I've got a
Holy.
few games on the Switch. Oh, man, I mean, I got like, I think
Yeah.
I'm up to 500 or something.
That's crazy, yeah. But like since
Yeah.
like I got my daughter, I kind of don't really have time for anything. So and then I
I
discovered
don't
other
play them.
passions. Huh?
I don't play my games.
Yeah, I know, but I then I also don't have
They're
any
just over
reason
there.
to do them anymore. So then I stopped. So yeah. So Joe, what are you playing?
So I've been slowly but surely working my way through Evil Within 1 still. But like I don't know if the game's really hard or I'm terrible or just too stubborn to put it on easy mode. That's probably what it is. I could probably just put it on easy mode, but I won't. I'm just gonna struggle. But I'm trying to get through that game, which I'm having a good time. I think I'm probably about halfway. And then for some reason I thought to relax I would play Cuphead as well. I don't know why the hell that was my alternative game. So I was playing that so basically I get mad at one game and then I play that till I get mad and I just go back and forth. That was wrong with me. And then I've been playing Jamestown. I finally got my copy of Jamestown on the Switch. It's like a shmup. I'm playing that a lot. And then I was gonna be honest with you guys, I can't put it down, dudes. I just
Yeah. I wanna do it too.
just like it's like
Whole
just
podcast Joe's just been can't put it down.
I work from home and I'm really good about not playing games while I'm working, but it's the first time in my life I'm like, damn, I don't want to just play my Steam Deck. It's really
I
hard
got
not to.
2 hands free at the moment.
Well, so I haven't been playing it, but I've been like, loading up games, downloading files, just getting it set up, doing stuff with it while I'm working. Just I've been having a blast with it. But I mean, what I've been playing lately, because of this thing, is like I played every PS2 game there is for 3 minutes this week. It's one of those, I've been like just trying out everything. But the one game I actually put some time into was Burnout 3. Don't know why. Started playing Burnout 3 again, and that game is just so damn good, and it looks so amazing upscaled through the emulator, man. Like it looks flipping fantastic. I can't even get over it. Like I'm still gonna keep on my physical games, but I'm gonna be playing on this thing. I think my PS2 games for the most part. They look just insanely good, dude. Like I can't even get over it. It looks so good. So I know you guys are all physical collectors. I'm not saying not be physical collectors. Don't, go ahead. But I'm just saying, like, there's the emulation with the upscale graphics, 60 frames per second, 1080p of the PS2. It looks pretty good, dudes. I'm enjoying it.
I emulate my PS2 games for the fact that now that I've played them emulated, it's hard to go back and go to those loading times.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you forget about the quality of life improvements. Like Pokemon games, I can't play them with slow speed because you can speed them up on the computer. But yeah, loading times are really big for me, and that's the one thing with the PS2 that you don't realize until you go back and play it. You're like, oh, I forgot about this.
That's like,
and I add one other thing is like that's the best way. Like I also emulate too. Like I mean, I'm all about physical games. Yes, that's an aspect of preservation. But just because of the preservation, I'd rather do emulation and not scratch my discs. So most of them, yeah, I rarely like use actually my discs to do any gaming.
Well, guys, this is a good segue into some news that broke yesterday.
Good.
And it's a bit of sad news. So it's been announced that the Xbox 360 store is going to be closing next year. And there's more than 220 digital games out there that are going to disappear. They aren't available to buy physically. They're only on the Xbox 360 store. They're not going to be backwards compatible. So it's Yeah, it's a pretty sad time for gaming, and I know we're mainly Nintendo and PlayStation collectors here, but like the same thing's going to happen to the Nintendo store, the same thing's going to happen to the Sony store, and this is going to be the future for these current generations with patches and day one updates and stuff. Like, what are games going to be like in 15 years? Are they going to be playable PS4 games, or is it just going to be a full library of oh, here's a game that I used to play that, to turn the servers off for and we can't play anymore. And, oh, this is a really good game, but I haven't got the day one patch, so it doesn't work. And this trophies doesn't work anymore because they turn the servers off. And, like, it's kind of scary that we're going to go into this world.
Yeah, and that's what I was like it goes back to what I said about like limited run games. As much as I hate them, like that's the only way that you can see some of these games coming back. I don't see any other way unless you like sit down and download all 200 of them. I don't see like any other way around that.
I mean, the completionist might go and buy them all and do that.
Oh, he's already on it. He's already on it.
He's already on it. Yeah.
But like that's the thing. Like, how many people
have every hard drive in the freaking country, for every 360, those little clip-on ones. He needs like 300 of them. I'm sorry.
But it's good, like you said, like segue, like to talk about like the future. I mean, like I see that also as a gateway through what I believe that the future of gaming is going to be just Netflix and like Disney Plus and stuff like that. It's going to be they're going to be. We won't. I don't think maybe one more generation of physical actual console. The rest of it, because the reason I'm saying that is because these company makes these games for the mass. They don't make these games for us collectors.
Not at
right?
all. So they hate us actually.
10%, exactly. We're 10% because we play the same game over and over and over. We never that they make these games for them,
and we wait for sales.
Exactly,
and we're patient.
Yeah,
and we have like a big backlogs, and so we don't pay $70 for their game.
And they hate resellers too, because if the game is resold in the market for the same price, that's $100 that Sony don't get, or $50 that Sony don't get.
Yeah, they are really like digital people. Majority of gaming are bought their games digitally. That's the first thing, because the majority of them, they don't. Us. We don't mind. Like, we bring our disc home and then we have to wait another 2 hours to download like the game, because that's how the games are right now. But they're gonna always preload everything in their system. They all go. The majority of the gamers, they want to go for convenience, and I think the future is streaming anyways for them as well. Like, I mean, we still have a little bit work to do on the internet on front, but like Google did it. Like, that what was it? On Live did it. They proved the concept. The concept, it's workable. It's doable. We just need a stable internet. But once that comes in, you really think the company gonna want to like spend like 60? I don't know how much it costs them to create the disc, create like the the packaging, to pay all those like trucks to move this stuff around. Obviously not. They're gonna keep all the costs low and then still gonna sell us like the game like digitally. Or what's gonna happen? I think that's what the Xbox is doing, like bring subscriptions like method. And then you're gonna have like exclusive. If you wanna watch your Stranger Things, you have to have Netflix. If you wanna play your Halo, you have to have subscription to Xbox. If you wanna play, you God of War, that's I think that's gonna be the future of gaming. And as sad as it is, I think it's inevitable. I think
it's almost not the future. It's almost now. If you go into like your local Best Buy store, the gaming section's half the size as it was 10 years ago. Because they don't need to have half the store to show that stuff, because you can just download it. Here's a download code for it. Let's just stop selling the cases and just sell the download codes, because this is what 99% of our customers want. And unfortunately, us collectors have such a small minority of the market.
I know.
If Sony wanted to support,
definitely the old men yelling at the sky. Like, damn you, children! Don't you see? You're wrong, not me. But they are wrong. They just don't know it, because
I know. And then once you lose that, then
man,
you don't own anything, and that's the part that I'm kind of pretty scared. And people don't seem to care. I mean, like your movies on Netflix, you don't own them. And then if Netflix decides to like remove some of the movies from there, and then they're gone.
Oh yeah, we
try to find
me and my girlfriend would say we like went out and bought like all our favorite shows on DVD and Blu-ray because of that, because we got so sick of that freaking happening. We had to bounce around between this. Who has our shows now? They do. Then we'd have to subscribe to it. It was so fucking annoying. So we realized that like Disney Plus, like I'm not into any of their new content. So there's like 10 Disney movies I'd watch in my life. I'd be much better off just buying those 10 movies and paying for Disney Plus.
Exactly.
There's no reason. I don't need that sub service. And I just it's not going to work out, dudes, because like, first of all, I don't like it because it immediately is going to make it a rich country luxury. Because like you said, there are lots of countries out there, they're not going to have good internet for a while. So there will be entire countries now, generations of people who are not going to get to a game on any of that stuff because their internet sucks. That's just the thing.
Well, they don't have internet and they're using VPNs to connect to
even
the internet, full stop.
or
Like,
even parts of there's like parts in the United States that don't have good internet. You could live out in the middle of nowhere in the mountains, and these people, they depend on being able to get a disc and install the game, or at least most of the game, as much as they can to actually play. So again, it's a small minority to the overall, but and they're always going to go for the overall, like you said. But that sucks because, you know, I don't like the gatekeeping that'll come with that. And then also, I just like you said, you don't own anything. They get to decide what is available, when it's available, and also it'll kill income. Like, look at what's happening with all the writer strikes and the SAG strikes and all the actors, and they're all working out because how is streaming working out for everybody? I mean, literally, how's it working out for everybody? Disney's losing mad money. Netflix, they can't keep the subs up. Everybody's losing money. The shows suck. Everybody's mad. None of the actors get. The whole model blows from a financial standpoint. Like, it sucks. So
there would be one person at the top making money, and that's it.
Yeah, so you go ahead and put all your games on a subscription service where now, instead of you getting paid $60 every time someone wants to purchase your game, you're getting paid 35 cents because someone played your game for 15 seconds or something. And you'll see it's going to screw up the video game industry too, just the same way. It's not going to go like the way you think. So it could be digital if you're buying the games for 50, 60 bucks a pop or something. But like, as soon as it's like, it's just 15 bucks a month. And then if you want to be on their service, that's the only place you get, because they have a monopoly. So it's like, if you have a game, the only place you can sell it is on this service. And so they'll be like, yeah, we'll give you 30 cents per play. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be the, like you said, it'll be great for Call of Duty and giant companies, but it'll just kill indie games and
all the smaller ones.
We go for Amazon hosting web services where everyone's got to pay them to have their streaming services on their sites and stuff. Like, it's kind of sad.
Once the console companies decide not to put discs, drives, or cartridge slots in their consoles, they're going to kill limited run games, strictly looking games. All those companies, they have a shelf life on them now. They're going to die. Like, and it's not even if like, or my other theory is they will exist forever selling PS4 and Switch games or something like that. They will like forever be releasing these consoles, whatever the last version that had a disc driver, they'll just keep doing that for as long as they can.
But they, I mean, like they even put like a kill safe like on these console too, right? Apparently, like if that battery dies, then you connect the if you put the new battery in it, it needs to connect to the server. But if the server is down, so how we? I mean, I know that obviously some people are gonna start like hacking it, so like creating like a backdoor solution. But for the majority of us, like I mean, it's gonna be for us we can do it, but for other people, they won't. It's not gonna be easy for them.
Where I'm born in the 90s and I'm still going out there buying like NES systems that I don't know if they're working, because I know it's an NES and you can get this thing working today and it's a 30-year-old system,
Yeah, but this complex stuff, I'm not how it's gonna work. But I guess maybe it's gonna be emulation later on, and then
So that's always the unforeseen about the future, is we never know what technological advances will come along that'll change the equation and make things easier. So, it could be 15, 20 years from now, you could have, a 50 terabyte SSD for $10 and freaking have a mini computer with every game ever made on it for a couple $100. You never know. But who's going to preserve the files and the DLCs and the updates and that's the difference. Like from the old game, it's just a burned copy of what's on the disc, and now it's like you got to find somebody who has all the patches and all that shit. I mean, I don't even know how it's going to work.
Yeah, I don't know for how long for Nintendo can keep it up, but already right now, like like PlayStation and like Xbox, they barely either don't make any money selling consoles or they barely make money. So they want to eliminate that. They want to go heavily towards their subscription
Yeah,
services.
just buy a controller
And
from
I
them and
yeah, and I
hook you
remember
up to
in
your TV.
2013, one of their TVs they were actually coming bundled with the PlayStation 3 controller. I don't remember what TV it was, but it was also coming with the PlayStation. I don't know what it was called back in the day, PlayStation Now. It was a service pack that and literally they were giving you 3 months and then play your games through cloud, through the internet, directly on your TV. So
Mm.
it's. I know that we're gonna go that
No,
way.
that's
And
what they want.
yeah, that's what they
Well,
want. They
Xbox
don't
tried
want.
to release the Xbox One, like not this gen, last gen's Xbox without a disk drive, in
Yeah.
2013. So like their business plan's been in set for at least 10 years now. It's just
Yeah.
a
So
matter of
it's inevitable. That's what I'm saying. Like Thanos was saying, like it's inevitable. But damn it, I'm not really. I'm not looking forward to that. But,
Wait a minute.
Here I'm saying
Maybe that's who's in charge. I'm just kidding.
We're seeing GameStop's on the decline as well. It won't be long until
I will
GameStop
get rid of
don't sell games
87%
anymore.
of all the games.
there, you go in their you go in their store. About like 70% of what they have is merch. Like the game section is so tiny. Before it was like all three walls they were full of games. Now it's literally just one wall and shared between all three consoles, and the rest is Funko and all those like merch and like cushions and I don't know what the heck they sell there, but that's what they are doing right now.
You ever get any of these videos pop in your feed like game shopping in 2002, game shopping in 1998, game shopping and oh man, the game stores. You look at that wall of PS2 games, and I'm just like, oh, if I walked into a GameStop and saw that today, oh Lord.
Not
Yeah.
GameStop, like
Yeah, this
Toys R
anywhere.
Us videos from back then. Like
Toys
the
R Us,
Toys R
yeah.
Us game sections. Like, oh my
God, yeah, I know.
Like, people
I
still
remember
like-
this, that's not even long ago. Like when we arrived, like that's in 96, 97. I remember I go to Walmart and like the section of the games in Walmart, and they still have those TVs that you have to look up, play, like,
Mhm.
they specifically put them up there so you don't stay there long. But yeah, it's all gone. Like, and I'm watching this guy on YouTube. I forgot his name. I'll let you know. He talks about his life with his parents, and apparently his dad was working for a like kind of a game distribution company or something. So he has all these like old VHS of his dad really likes to like film him when he was giving him video games and everything. And like he's showing like these old video from Funko Land and like a Sears or stuff.
cool.
And then
Dude, have you've seen the Funko Land price cheat thing from 1998 or whatever? They show you like, I had a Funko Land in my town, and I remember going there, and those were the prices. I could have bought every NES game on Earth for like 50 cents. It was just, like it really is painful to think about, especially Sega CD stuff and Sega Saturn stuff. Like you could have got, it was just like $1. Nobody wanted it. But neither did
When
I.
it first came out, though, that stuff was more expensive than it was today. Like inflation for video games hasn't gone up as much as inflation for a lot of things.
That's true. I remember my dad bought Phantasy Star 2 on the Genesis. It was like $90 when he bought that shit back in like 90, whenever the hell
Which
that
would
was.
be like almost $300 today. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it'd be like double, like at least $250 here. Yeah. I think they said that we've lost about 100% or 50% of our money value since 93 or something like that. Pretty cool. That's cool. That means in my lifetime, I should lose 100% of my freaking value. That's cool. That seems normal. Anyway, that's another conversation.
Guys, I think we'll move into another one of our segments, and that segment is show and tell.
Oh,
hey,
nice.
There we are.
I already showed and tell. But sure, go ahead.
So show and tell is where we show you guys off some pickups that we've done and some really cool pieces from our collections that have stories attached to them. Joe, would you like to go first?
Sure. So I already spoiled this one a little bit, but I got Jamestown. Nice. So this is the shmup I was talking about. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's like
that's limited run.
Yeah. So they announced the Switch version a long time ago. I ordered this forever ago, and it just finally showed up. And then recently they announced it again. They're doing the PS4 version, so I ordered that too. but that's gonna come God knows when. But yeah, this is the Switch version, and it's kind of cool. It's like a cyberpunk cowboy-ish thing, but it's like a co-op too. You can play with up to 4 people. It's different. It's for as far as shmups go. It's definitely unique. Commentator, what is up, man? I see you. How you doing? Tater's the man, by the way. Used to watch him on Twitch all the time. He's an Isaac streamer. Good dude. So I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. Next thing I got is who pressed mute on Uncle Marcus?
Oh my god.
I don't know.
FMV.
It's an FMV game, and it's from limited run, and it looks awesome. It says, and it's eccentric FMV murder mystery with a twist. Someone has poisoned Uncle Marcus. Uncover the truth in the yearly family quiz and try to save him before it's too late. Starring Andy Buckley from The Office and Abigail Hardingham from The Missing. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, it's a cheesy looking murder mystery FMV game, and I love these things.
It's awesome.
They're good. They're fun. They're good fun. So the next one I got is I don't know if it's like a limited edition, but I got like the fancier edition of Helvetii from Red Art Games. So it came with the soundtrack.
That's neat. Yeah.
Pretty cool artwork. And then here's the game itself.
What type of game is that one?
As far as I remember, because again, I ordered these games like a year ago, so it's hard to remember what the hell I even bought. I believe this is like a 2D action adventure game, kind of like a dark gothic art style. If you look at the back, it does not show any gameplay, of course, but it has that freaking awesome demon-esque looking badass thing going on.
Is it like something like maybe Blasphemous? Because that's something I recently discovered. So maybe
Blasphemous is awesome. Yeah. So it's not as pixelated looking as Blasphemous.
Okay.
Yeah, it almost I don't know if it's the same company, but it kind of reminded me of that Scoutfold game they released. Kind of looked like that. I don't know.
Just explain about Blasphemous. The second one just got announced, and they're not bringing it out to Australia. So that kind of sucks.
Oh.
Which is a trend of media not coming to Australia lately. Disney have just cancelled all DVDs coming to Australia, and yeah, it's kind of sad because it's digital world these days. So Disney DVDs aren't sold in Australia anymore.
See, there's even more reason not to want to go digital, but damn it. But what can we do?
So the next game is Sword of the Vagrant.
Oh, that looks good.
Oh,
yes, it's another Red Art game. It looks kind of like a Vanillaware game, kind of. So it looks like Odin Sphere or what is that? Demon's Crown Pro, or whatever. Yes, I believe it is like a 2D action RPG where you play a scantily clad barbarian girl with large boobies.
You like a Salt and Sanctuary type game?
It just says battle through hordes of monsters and a journey to reunite your family in a fantasy 2D action RPG. It's like I said, the gameplay looks more like what is it? Demon's Crown? Is that the name of the game? What the hell's wrong with me?
Dragon's Crown.
Dragon's Crown. There we go. It kind of looks like something like that, I would say.
Big,
but it also
big bums.
yeah. Well, not as ridiculous, but yeah. And it came with this really sweet ass art book.
That's cool.
Hell yeah.
Really nice. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Oh, you want to look at that? Boobylicious. You guys get some of the good stuff. I paid $1 a minute for this. Oh, that's like So
okay.
It's it is what it is. And then like I said, I've been on like a little like random mass PS2 kick lately, so I've just been picking up some games that I want. So I got this one. It's called Dark Angel Vampire Apocalypse. It's not very good. I'm not gonna say you should get it, and I'm not gonna say it's a hidden gem. It's just I like it. So it's like it's kind of like a Diablo type game, like top down.
Okay.
Killing everything on the screen, monsters type shit. It just looked cool. The reason I picked it up is I've been really into playing Vampire Survivor. What the hell is it called? Yeah, it's Vampire Survivor, the new one. Is that what it's called? I've been playing that game pretty hardcore, and I don't know, this kind of reminded me of it. And it was like wicked cheap. It was like $10. So I don't know. I like vampires. What can I say? But this one actually is a good game. So I would recommend this one. I picked this one. I wanted this one for a while. I just never have. It's like one of those middling games. It's really not that expensive, but it's not really cheap either. So that's Bujinjai. I don't know if Bujinjai. I'm not sure enough I was supposed to say. Bujinjai. The Forsaken City. It's a Taito game. It's another action, like 3D action game.
Yeah.
But it's got really cool graphics. Like it's beautiful. Like it's like gosh, I don't really know. You can't see it that well, but it's just it's got really cool weapons. It's got really cool like like attacks, and like it's got like an actual decently complicated battle system from what I can tell. Like the tutorial is like 5 minutes long. You have to go through to even play the game.
It's giving me like Devil May Cry vibes.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely up that vibe. You know, it's not going to be as good as Devil May Cry, but it's from what I can see, it looks really good. I played it a little bit on the Steam Deck too, and I did enjoy it. But I would recommend it. And like I said, I've been trying to get like a lot of those 3D action-y games that came out on PS2.
There's a lot of them on PS2, like the
I know
Star games, and there's so many of them.
I'm not getting them all, but like I'm picking up all the God of Wars, Devil May Cries, all the I want like all the Capcom fighting games, like all the
One that I recommend, obviously like now through emulator, is like a Blood Will Tell. It's such an amazing, like, unique game too, and it's if you watch the anime, there used to be an anime back in the 60s, like Dororo, and it's based on that game, based on that anime. So yeah, give that game a try.
Emulator, son.
Oh yeah,
Emulator, son.
Yeah.
I probably better play it emulated because then you have to pull your copy.
I want because I have it too, but I just I like asked one of my friends.
I'm not opening it.
To go get it, and then I was like, "Are you crazy?" When he showed me the price, I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, well, emulate it." But the principle of the game is really good. So yeah,
that is it is a good game, and
but that's what I'm saying. If you like the anime too, like there is also an anime on Amazon Prime based on that game. So just
really?
Yeah, watch. Yeah, it's called Dororo, Dororo.
All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I've been I want to get Samurai Western too. I haven't picked that one up yet. That's another action.
The Atlas title.
Yeah, that one's gotten really expensive. Thanks to Reggie, if you're still here. It was your fault. No, I'm just kidding. It's his fault. It's just a good game, and that's what happens.
It's Atlas's fault for not making enough of them.
It is what it is. It's just everybody, a bunch of nerds sit around like me, and they sit there and they look up those videos. It's like every game that came out for this system, and then you sit there and you go, "Oh, that one looks cool," and that one looks cool, and it just turns out everybody thinks the same ones look cool because those are the ones that do look cool. It always happens. So I always watch the videos of like all 2,000 games, and I just write them all down, and then I started going on eBay, and I'm like, damn it, and that's why like when I saw Vampire Apocalypse was $10, I was like, oh cool, that one's only $10. But then I'm like, this one probably sucks. That's just probably a reason it's $10, but that's okay.
You're not wrong though. Anytime I watch it, I see gameplay of a game that I'm like, that looks up my alley. I'll write it down, and it's usually like hidden gem type videos, and we're watching people that have similar interests to us. So if they like a game, then you'll probably like it as well. And
yeah, exactly. So that always happens. Like today I looked up like PSP stuff. For my Steam Deck. That's the next system I've been downloading games and uploading. And there was like a bunch of games. I'm like, looks like a pretty cool RPG. Let me just check it. God damn, that's expensive. All right. Well, anyway, like I just over and over, like every time any of the games that I'm like, that looks really cool. And it crushes you. But not, there are some games that I love that are mad cheap and that people don't have like any, I'm thrilled I have, Unreal Tournament on PS2. It was like a $10 game, and I freaking love that game. I will play that right now, and anybody who wants to play it anytime. I love it.
You can pick up Tony Hawk games for under $10 on the PS2. They're great fun.
Exactly. Like when I started collecting PS1, like one of the first games I picked up were all the Cool Borders games. Mad cheap, but I love the Cool Borders
All
games.
4 of them.
Dude.
They're all
Oh,
great.
they're so fun, dude. I love Cool Borders 3 is my personal favorite.
I got a new PS3 game this week, and I don't pick
Oh.
up many PS3 games anymore because I finished it that years ago. But there were probably like 20 or so games that I put on a list that I'm like, I can't find this, but if it ever pops up one day, I'm going to try and buy it. And this was one of them. So this is the Ultimate Uncharted pack.
Yeah.
This is a triple pack that was originally sold through Play Asia. So it's only available in countries like the Philippines, Hong Kong, Manila,
Nice.
etc.
So this is the Chinese English version. Comes with all 3 games. They give us the amazing best of. Is now exclusive to Asia. But yeah, this is a beautiful pack. I'm really, really happy to own it. Thanks to Roxas from Malaysia for helping me find this one.
Really
Roxas
cool,
sells games on my Discord if you guys are interested in games from Asia. Yeah, a game that I've probably been after this for 7 years to go in a little subset of, I'm trying to get every double or triple pack from Asia. There's like 9 of them. I think I've got 1 or 2 left. So it's a nice little subset, and they've all got this little spine at the top and the white. So they look really good when they sit together.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
That's
The next one's not a pickup. Sorry, Azam?
You put it on Twitter.
Yeah, I share it every day.
Yeah.
Next one's not a pickup, but being the collector's edition episode, I thought I'd show one of my favorite grails off. So this is the Catherine Stray Sheep edition. This is the Australian version, and this one's sealed as well, so it won't be opened.
Yeah.
It's a pretty weird collector's edition. It comes with like boxer shorts or
Pizza
something.
box.
This one comes with a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I think the American version comes with boxer shorts.
It's a boxer. Yeah, the one that I have the same thing. I
Comes
bought
with
it
a
actually on the collector group back when it was still up.
No, this was from Kieran from the collector's PS3 collectors.
Oh, as well.
OG member. He sold his collection.
Yeah,
and
OG,
I
yeah,
got a
okay,
piece
okay,
of it.
Nice.
Speaking of sheep, have you seen that sheep the sheep game everybody's been posting in the groups? You guys know what I'm talking about? Apparently,
The
there's
PS5 one? Yeah. I have.
there's some game.
Like Shaun the Sheep or something.
There's literally a game that came out in Germany where you're like a sheep who has to like screw other sheep, and like you're a farmer and you have to like make the sheep screw. It's called in German. It's called like Sheeps and Scrusenpfeifens or something. I don't know, but dude, it's hilarious. Like it's one of those like so bad looking things. I have to get it.
I kind of want that now.
Oh, I gotta have it. Like I have to have it. Like no, like as soon as I saw him, like there's a game about sheep fucking. I'm like, I gotta have this.
What a lol. What do you got for us this week, Azam?
I already talk about those 2 collector's edition. The thing that I got recently, it was this game. So on Game Boy Color, like Spawn. This one is sealed, so I found it sealed, and it's one of my favorite like game on the Game Boy Color because I think if I'm not mistaken, is the only game with the voice acting in it. Actually, like the what was that? The devil guy, this demon that was also in the movie. He's actually like talks. Yeah.
What's his name?
I think so. Yeah, Dominator. Whatever. Yeah,
something
he actually is like
that.
speaks, but it's a side scroller. Like basic like beat 'em up like type of game. But yeah, I really like that one. And then I already like went through everything else. Like I don't have any match for you. Show and tell. I already showed and tell. Or maybe like that was the watch that I show a bit closer. I couldn't open it up, but that's what it is.
For the Valkyrie.
Yeah, for the Valkyrie profile.
Yeah, that's so
That
fucking
was-
sick, dude.
Is that an original iPod Mini you've got behind you?
Sorry.
Is that an
Oh
original?
yeah, back
iPod
there.
Mini?
Yeah. No, it's the original iPod, like the classic, the OG, like 80 gigabyte. Yeah.
Nice. I had the OG Mini, so it's so nostalgic seeing like
Yeah, the stuff. Yeah. I have my first like DJ like headset over there, like a headphone back there as well. Like,
Nice.
yeah, I just put my old stuff. Yeah, but as you guys see, like I don't spend much more on games anymore recently. I have more just like on audio equipment. But maybe I'll go back to games soon. Never.
I love it, man. And it's your audio sounds amazing. So
Yeah.
you're definitely doing a good job there.
Yeah.
Does your camera track you automatically when you move around?
Yeah, it's one of these. It's
That's
a
pretty
Insta
dope.
360 link. Yeah, so it's tracks. Yeah,
That's
because I
sick,
move a
dude.
lot. So I was like,
Very cool.
Makes
yeah.
it look professional. I move a lot too, but mine just stays still. I'm just constantly moving the camera around.
It's all about the content, man. Don't worry. These are all like secondary. Like as long as you
Speaking
make
of
it good
content,
stuff.
Asen, you do some amazing work over on Instagram. You're actually one of my favorite Instagram accounts. So tell us about your Instagram page.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, I prefer like more like I'm more like again like as I said like the the English barrier or whatever. So I started my channel in actually 2007. Like this YouTube channel that I have I started in 2007, and I have about like 40 video, but they are all private right now because I was never really satisfied of the result. So I just recently started. So maybe in the future I would like going on with like just pickups and more retro stuff and just talking about like the because and if I do it, maybe I will do it also in Farsi, which is my mother tongue, because a lot of these games the people in Iran never like experienced them. So maybe I want to like create something for them, like to explain, if you guys like Fortnite, like not back in the day, we had like Serious Sam and like what was the other one? Team Fortress. That was
Serious
our
Sam.
that was our like multiplayer like action pack game. So I want to like create something like that for them. But so far, like I don't really have time. Like seriously, maybe I have to find a better way of manage. Like as a father, how I can like manage my time and everything. But Instagram is easy because like and I can just take a picture and just put a little bit of my thought about like my history with the game, like or my memory of why this game is important for me. And Instagram is the easy way for me like to put my content out. But I really like what you do, like your podcast and stuff. That's something it is interesting to me. Sadly, I don't
You've
really
got
have
the
time to
perfect setup for it, so
Yeah.
you definitely get onto something like that. But I like your idea of making content for people in Iran because there wouldn't be many YouTubers out there doing that content. There's
No, exactly,
so many
because
people
everybody's
making
covering
pickup videos and different things.
everybody's covering like brand new games. Nobody knows like past like I think before like 5th gen, it's a little bit obscure. Like people still remember their PlayStation 1, but before that is very obscure to them. Like they really don't know any of it. They really started having an idea of like games past 7th gen, like PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. That's where majority of Iranian they're like it became widely available to people. Before that it was come a little bit for elite, people who had a little bit more money. Those people who could like afford these like video games. But past like 7th gen, that became more available to people. And then that's my plan for future.
Something that you do on your Instagram that I really love, and it's when you post Super Nintendo games and you've got the Superboy playing the game as well. I think that's an amazing touch.
Yeah. That's a sick thing. Like I actually recommend it. Like that little console. It's a cheap console. Like you can find it. And if you have old cartridges and you still play Super Nintendo, it's like perfect. It's the best. One of the
I was
best
watching a
consoles.
Retro Rick video the other day, and they were testing one, and it wasn't working, and they were putting the games in backwards. But it looks
Oh, wow.
like the games like go in frontwards, which is
Frontward,
weird.
yeah,
The other cartridges go in the other
yeah.
way.
You have to put it back, and then there is a little lock on the back, so actually like make sure that the contacts like touch, because it was a little bit finicky. But yeah,
I will leave all the links to Arjun's socials below, guys. So go and follow him on Instagram, follow him on Twitter, and I will link your YouTube below as well if you're going to put some content out on there. We'll subscribe.
Thank you very much. Anyway,
Anything you wanted to add, Joe?
Never really talked about collector's editions.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I didn't anyway. You guys did. I'll give my 2 cents real quick. I don't got no damn room for them, but I do like them very much. I think they're gorgeous, and I do buy them for franchises that I'm like quite passionate about. So, like, I picked up the Ease 8 Collector's Edition for PS5 and the Ease 9 Collector's Edition for PS5 because I absolutely love those games. I got the Evil Dead game Collector's Edition because Bruce Campbell and Evil Dead's like my favorite thing in the world. So to me, it's not really like it's the franchise to me that will determine whether or not I actually splurge for a Collector's Edition. And I'm thinking about getting the Dodonpachi one they just announced because they're doing side SGJ, I think Saidijo. I don't know how they call it. It's a Japanese word, but they announced the pre-orders for that on Amazon Japan and Play Asia, and I'm really tempted to get the collector's edition because they do really like Dodonpachi a lot. It's like one of the best games ever made, so might get that one. So yeah, I don't know. I like love them, but I don't have them space for them at the end of the story. There's nothing, and but I would never, ever, 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 ever buy any of the new ones that don't come with the game. Not a chance. I would just not even an option. If there's no
like a PC thing. Like PC games are still released as collector's editions, but they're just download codes for Steam, and it's the norm in the PC community. So I feel like in 10 years,
It's
games might get physical copies, but we'll probably be able to buy collector's editions still.
Sure, and that's totally cool. And I have not knocking anyone who wants to do that, or they like that, and they see the value in it, or they like doing that. I just personally, as a game collector, primarily, like I would like the game. If I'm buying a physical anything, could I have the game? Everything else is irrelevant to me, other than the game. Like I don't care about the statues and the T-shirts and the hats and the like stuff like that. That's cool to me, but if it doesn't come with the game, I'm not interested. I'd rather have just the copy of the game, like any day. And like honestly, there's still games that I just don't buy because they don't release them physically. Like it drives me crazy because I just wait and wait and wait. I'm hoping they'll come out. You just never do. I mean, I break down eventually. Like I bought Beat Saber after like 6 years of waiting. I'm like, all right, you know what? It's not coming out. I'm just gonna get it. Like the Horizon VR game they came out with. Like I'm still blown away that you can't get a physical copy of that game. I'm like, this should be their biggest, like one of their biggest titles on PSVR 2. It's like one of the flagship. Like this was what they were going to use to try to sell this thing, and they don't even have a physical copy. Just what?
Crazy, right? That's the world that we're in today, and it's only going like we're complaining about it today. Imagine 5 years down the line. Imagine 10 years down the line. It's going to be a lot worse. It's not going to be getting better.
Well, imagine this, Sony. I own every single physical PSVR game that ever came out in all regions, and I own 4 fucking PSVR 2 games. So you decide how you want it to go. I'm like, you don't want my money? That's fine, dudes. Like, I can go back and buy PS2 games for the rest of time. Like, I don't. That's the thing. Like, I don't. If you're into collecting, you don't have to worry about if it's an all digital future. If you want to keep collecting, you'll be able to collect forever, dude. There's 1,000 games for each system out there. Like, there's more games to buy and to play and to collect and available now than you'll ever need. So, I don't know. I think it's just going to be a generational thing where they're just going to, once it's just be there, like, nope, everyone under the age of 30 is doing this. They won't care about everybody else. That's what I think.
No, you're spot on there, Joe. And we'll keep collecting. I'm happy to go back and collect PS1, 2, 3, PSP, PS Vita games for the rest of my life. There's enough games out there that I could be happy that, if things stop.
I could just play what I own right now and probably never finish. There's no reason, I don't need more games. It's this hobby is a luxury. It's just for fun. So as soon as it's not fun anymore, that's that. I mean, whatever. I'll start collecting stamps.
Before we do go, I do have a little bit of news, and it's a bit of old news, but if you guys are interested, especially your PS3 collectors, Wider Games have now got the production report for PS3 games, and it's very interesting. You can basically see every game that has a variant that's been submitted. I was on there last night. 3 copies of NBA Elite 11, for example, have gone through. There's plenty of games that haven't been submitted that are out there that are, in my opinion, rare games. There's no Africa in Wider Games. I found that very interesting. No sealed Africa. Go and check out the website. It's quite interesting. And thanks for watching, everyone. Arzen, you've been an amazing guest, man. Thanks so much for coming on. We'll have to get you back on sometime.
Thanks again for having me here. That was so awesome. I learned so much. And I will be following this podcast even more now. It was really interesting. Cheers, guys.
And we'll see you guys Sunday for another European show. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Night, everybody.
You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting season. Come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to Jeff, what we got for best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing the song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready for one more chance. You found